sharpens iron every day. That's what they say. Now that's what men do. Who the hell been fooling you? Said we give back, extend an olive branch, and we breathe life. I'm my brother's keeper. That's the way we live life. Iron sharpens iron every day. That's what they say. Now that's what men do. Who the hell been fooling you? Said we give back, extend an olive branch, and we breathe life. I'm my brother's keeper. That's the way we live life. Yeah. Wake up.
My name is John Applegate, and I'm a peer counselor at David's Courage, which is a residential treatment home. I was locked up in 1994 for murder, and I was locked up for 26 years. And I worked my way down in security level through the years. Went from behind the wall at ISP to outside the wall at ISO, and then from ISO I went to the South Bend Reentry Center. Being locked up so long, I really didn't know where I would be or end up. And my family had moved away from Fort Wayne, where I grew up and where my life was. So really my only option upon release was to go live with my brother, who lives in Northeast Indiana. Where I would work, what I would do, anything like that was just unknown. When I got to the Reentry Center, there was a completely different vibe when I walked in the door. So I'm used to seeing uniformed officers. I didn't know who was staff or who wasn't when I got there because they were in plain clothes. And so right off, it was a different feeling. And then the way they interacted with us was different. I just felt at ease when I got there. But I also told myself, because of all the fears and everything that I had about change, that when I had an opportunity to do something, I would say yes. So I didn't really know what the opportunities were going to be, other than at some point you get to go to work, right? I didn't know what other programs they had, what other things we got to do in the public. I was a violent felon, so there were still some restrictions on what I was going to be able to do while I was at the reentry facility, because there were some places that the guys went to volunteer or they went to work that only non-violent felons could go to. Once I found out I was going to be in the garden that Monday, then Officer Fox comes up to me and says, "Hey, get those vegetables out of the whatever, we're going to go donate those vegetables today." And so they were outside in the garage. Somebody had already picked them. They were in baskets. They were ready to go. I'm like, we're gonna what? Because, you know, I've been locked up. You don't go anywhere unless you're in shackles and cuffs. And so we go out to the garage. He comes to get me. We go out to the garage and we get the vegetables and load them up into the van. And he says, "Get in the front seat." I'm like, "Get in the front seat?" I'm like, there's got to be some kind of trick to this, right? I'm like, this dude's gonna, I don't know what's going on, because I didn't know this is how it works, right? So anyways, I get in the front seat and we go out and we start out driving. We're heading to downtown South Bend, and we get down to the Hope Center, I think it was, that day. And he's like, "Okay, go ahead and get out." I'm like, I didn't know I could get out now, because now I could just get out and walk around. I remember calling home that night. I was like, I'm not walking around downtown South Bend today. You know, because you go from one day where you're a criminal and you're violent and you're a risk, and then the next day you're not. Like, so it was hard for me to kind of process that a little bit, but it just felt so good. I don't understand why somebody would not want to take advantage of it. Just with all the time that I did, I knew that I had to have something that was going to get me from being a 26-year prisoner to a free person. There had to be something to fill the gap. I can't just go from this to that and think that everything's going to be okay. Well, maybe I won't go back to prison or anything, but there was a lot of social skills that I needed to develop. There were people that I needed to meet. If you've done a lot of time, this is your #1 best chance to be successful, because not only will you meet good people and create some bridges for yourself, but you're going to earn money that's going to help you get established when you're released as well. I left there with about $17,000, and that was, I didn't start working, full-time when I first got there. You have to open your mind. You have to understand, I think, where the reality of your situation, and understand that you can't keep doing the things the way you've been doing them in order to be successful. You've got to open your mind to the change. And the change mindset is what we talked about, is taking a more positive or proactive look at the decisions that you have in front of you, and which way is the best avenue for your success. There's so many people in the community who know or have loved ones who are incarcerated that don't know how to help them. Even when they get out, they don't know how to help them, other than maybe give them a place to live or something. But you have to seek those things out for yourself. You have to be the one who makes the decision. You have to take an active role in your own transition. So if you're not the person making decisions for your future, they're going to get made for you by somebody, and maybe not the way you want them to. We had an opportunity in late 2018 to start volunteering down here in Plymouth at David's Courage. So we're open now. We're a residential treatment home, and at the time we were nothing. We were just an idea of David's Courage. It was a building, it was old, and it needed rehab. Warden came to a group of guys. We were having breakfast for champions one day, and said, "Hey, who of you guys want to go down and volunteer at David's Courage down in Plymouth?" And well, the one, we were like, "Yeah, of course we do. Road trip, right?" So little did I know that that was going to be the beginning of finding my purpose. Give yourself the best opportunity you can for success. Choose to go to somewhere. Right now, I think the Reentry Center in South Bend is the only facility like it in Indiana, as far as I know. There may be county work released, but as far as the DOC, that is the best place you could go to take seriously your transition, to earn some money, to even reestablish some relationships maybe that you've been cut off from being in prison for so long.